following a religion which is true. So here we have Salman Farsi. He escapes to Syria and he serves one of the bishops over there. And this bishop was very corrupt. And one day he dies, this bishop dies. Now Salman is like, what do I do now? So he says, where can I find another bishop who's on the right path? So they say there is another person who's in Mosul, another place in Syria. From Syria there he moves to Mosul and there he serves this person. And when this person is on his deathbed, he asks him, now you're going to die. I want to follow the right path. His goal was very clear. I want to follow the right religion. And that's what he found at that point in time. So he said, there's one person in Nisibin, another place. So he goes on like this, and finally there's the last one who was on the right path. Now this man is on a deathbed. So Salman al-Farsi is asking, well, if you're gone, how do I follow the right path? Show me. He said, I do not know anybody who's right now who's following the religion, true religion. But do not worry. The time has come, the prophet will appear. There's going to be a prophet who will appear. So he gave him some signs. He said he's going to be a prophet who is going to be on the Aqidah of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So go to this place. It's a place of palm trees. That's all he said. It's a place of palm trees, and if you be sincere, then do so, serve him. That's what he said. Now Salman al-Farsi, he is searching. Where is the city of palm trees? SubhanAllah, he could have said, Ya Allah, I don't have anybody to guide. He could have been sitting in one place. He didn't give up. So he finds that some of the Arab traders, they've been talking about this place called Medina, right? It's a palm trees. There's so much of date trees. So he said, this is the place I want to go. So he said, he gave all the money he had. He told to this Arabian traders, take me to this place. So they agreed. This caravan, they agreed and they took him, subhanAllah, on the path. They robbed him and they sold him as a slave. They sold him as a slave. And look at the beauty. If you are sincere, Allah Azza wa Jal will get your job done. If you are sincere. And this person sells it to a Jew. Now Salman al-Farsi, a rich person, is now a slave for a Jew. So he was serving him. And then one day, this Jew, his friend comes from a city and he says, I need someone. So he says, why don't you take my slave and go? And subhanAllah, that happens to be the city of Medina. So subhanAllah, this Jew is from Banu Qurayda. They are the dwellers of Medina. So here is Salman al-Farsi. He is already in Medina. The Prophet ﷺ is not yet migrated. Allah has brought him there. And then finally when the Prophet migrated, so he tested the Prophet because he gave some signs. He said he'll eat from, right, gift, but he will not eat from sadaqah. So, and he'll have a seal of the Prophet between his shoulders. So what Salman did, first he came and he gave him, saying this is from sadaqah, please eat. So what he did, the Prophet took it and gave it to his companion, said Bismillah and eat it. He distributed it. The next day he came and he said, this is a gift from me, Ya Rasulullah. So the Prophet took it, he ate some and he gave it to his companion. So two signs are fulfilled. The third sign is now he has to somehow see the Prophet's seal. And the Prophet ﷺ knew that he was like trying while he's walking, he's trying. So the Prophet ﷺ slowly slid his cloth just for him to see it. SubhanAllah, that was sufficient for Salman al-Farsi and he became Muslim. SubhanAllah, he testifies, Allahu Akbar. Now look at this person from a wealthy family. He went through all these turmoils. He didn't give up. He continued because you will be tested. You will be tested. Jannah doesn't come so easily, right? Jannah doesn't come so easily. You will be tested. And I would like to tell you about the test that one of the companions he gone through. And it happened during the time of Umar ibn Khattab when he was the Khalifa. There was this person, his name was Abdullah bin Hudafa. Every time I think of this companion, subhanAllah, There's no words to describe the way he stood up on the haqq. So they go, Abdullah bin Hudhafa, he is a leader, he goes on a battle, and it so happens they've been captured by the Roman king. The entire army gets captured. So now they want to test Abdullah bin Hudhafa. The king is testing. So the king says, become Christian, give away Islam. Abdullah bin Hudhafa said, not even for a blink of an eye I would give up Islam. So he said, you give up Islam, I'll give you half of my wealth, half of my kingdom. And not just that, my daughter is beautiful, I'll get her married to you. And Abdullah bin Hudhafa said, even if you give me all that you possess and all that the Arabs possess to make me give up my religion, I will not give it up even for the blink of an eye. And so the king is a bit upset now. So he says, he kept him crucified on a cross. Okay? On a cross. And what they did, he made him hang on a cross, and then they started hitting arrows near his hands and feet. Killing is different. This is torture, isn't it? You never know which arrow will hit you. But they are torturing him like this, and they said, give up Islam. He said, no. So then it is also said in another narration that they kept him without food and drink for many days. And when he was very, very weak, that's the time they presented him with pork and wine. He was given pork and wine. So he said, I don't want. I'm not going to eat it or drink it. And he said, given my circumstances, it is permitted for me to eat and drink, correct? I don't want to eat and drink because I don't want you to become happy. Subhanallah. He said, I don't want you to become happy. That's why I'm not eating and drinking this. So the king got very upset. He said, okay, get a copper pot. So he brought a huge boulder, a copper pot. And in some narrations it says it was boiling water. In some it says it was oil, that they made it to boil. And they said, Abdullah, we are going to throw you in this. Leave Islam. He said, no. So subhanAllah, they took one Muslim and they threw him in the pot, and in no time the bones and the flesh were apart. And Abdullah said, no, I'm not giving up Islam. And they dragged Abdullah to the pot. And that's the time Abdullah bin Hudhafa started to cry. Now the king was happy. The king was very happy. He said, there you go, Abdullah, this is your breaking point, isn't it? Abdullah bin Hudhafa, he said, I'm not crying for this. I'm crying because I wish that I had life, as many lives as I had hair on my skin, so that every time I die for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allahu Akbar. This is a conviction on what he was believing in. And then the king has never seen anything like this. So he said, Abdullah, kiss my forehead and I'll let you go. So at least something Abdullah has to do, no? The king has to get something done. He said, kiss my forehead and I'll let you go. And Abdullah bin Hudhafa said, no. So what do you do with this man? He said, no. On one condition, if I do that, you should release all my men. And he said, okay, agreed. So he kisses. And he is released along with his men. And that's when they come back to Medina. Umar ibn Khattab looks at Abdullah bin Hudhafa. He says, everyone should kiss the head of Abdullah bin Hudhafa, and I am going to be the first one to kiss his head. Allahu Akbar. That's the perseverance. That is what we need, the conviction in whatever you do. You have to have the conviction. You have to have the perseverance to keep going. The last is someone we all would have heard, and at least I'm hoping this community would have heard, is the story of Dr. Abdur Rahman As-Sumet. We have heard of him? No? Subhanallah. Dr. Abdur Rahman As-Sumet, he is no more. I think in 2013 he passed away. But his life started when he was young. This is very important for all the youngsters who are sitting here. And youth is all the way till 40, because when you're 40, you're in the peak of youth. So let's not think, okay, it's for kids, it's for everybody else. So Abdul Rahman al-Sumat, he was a youngster. When he used to go to school, he used to see many workers, they would be standing on the path in the hot sun to get to work. So he saw that is hard work for them. So he wanted to help these workers somehow. So what he did, he along with some of his friends, they did a collection drive and they bought a car. And using this car, they would give lift for these workers to go to the destination. And that's how he started. And when he became a doctor, at the age of 35, he saw that Africa was hit by a huge famine. And he saw mainstream media was covering many other parts of Africa. It was not covering Ethiopia, Kenya, Mozambique, and so on and so forth, Malawi and Zimbabwe. He saw that these are places neglected. So what he did, he decided to make hijrah for the sake of Allah. He left took all his wealth, everything. He came to Africa as a doctor. He did service. He did service in Africa. He was treating people and he was doing dawah. He along with his wife. SubhanAllah, this lady, she is so wealthy. She gave up all her wealth in the path of Allah, and all that she had was 4 pairs of dress. That's all. And Dr. Abdul Rahman al-Sumat, he used to say, the stingy among my children, the most stingy among my children are the ones who give half of their wealth for charity. This is a standard for his children. And this is how they live a life. And in one of the incidents, he had many incidents. He was put in jail because of his work. They didn't want him to do this good work. They put him in jail. He had to go through the forests of Africa. Many times he had been, kidnapped. All these things he went through. But one incident sticks out. He says one day they were crossing a swamp. What's a swamp? Some murky water, you can't see what's inside. Right? They're walking in a swamp and they are in the swamp neck deep. And in Africa, you never know what's inside the swamp, right? It could be a crocodile, it could be a snake, it could be an anaconda, it could be anything. So he said, we were walking just to cross that place to another place. And someone asked him, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to take such a risk? He said, we took this because there was a village on the other side, and that's the only path to reach that village. And that village needed Islam. That village needed Islam. So he worked hard. He worked hard, so much so that in his 29 years of efforts, he created an ummah there, subhanallah. Let me just count. It's a long list, but I want you to get inspired from this. 50,000 orphans were supported. 5 lakh students of finance. 5,700 masjids he built. 200 training centers for women. 860 schools. 4 universities. 102 Islamic centers. 186 hospitals. 10 radio stations. 12,000 wells. 51 million Qur'ans distributed. 11 million people accepted Islam. Subhanallah. 11 million. What is the population of Kochi metro? I think it's 2.2 million. 2.2, 2.3 million. It's 5 times the size of Kochi. Imagine 5 Kochins, fully Muslims through one man. Through one man. Subhanallah, this is what we need. This is what we need. This is what the inspiration that we need. So always keep the end in mind. The companions, they kept the end in mind. Always they kept the end in mind. So much so that Hafsa radiallahu anha, when she asked Umar ibn Khattab, oh my father, now you are a Khalifa. Now we have a lot of wealth. Why do you lead such a miserable life? Can't you eat some good food? Can't you wear some good dress? Umar radiallahu anha, he explained to Hafsa radiallahu anha, saying, all the way how she had lived, so that she started crying. He reminded how the Prophet ﷺ lived. And he said, I had 2 companions who followed a certain path, and if I follow a hard path, perhaps I will join them in their life of luxury. Subhanallah. That's the dedication. And we are thinking of, Jannah, Jahannam very